My name is George Hurst. I will be your instructor for this program on making saddlebags. Designed for use on a saddle, they are primarily made for carrying supplies and tools in the outdoors, so they need to be made to withstand the weather and the rigors of a hard day's work. Here are a few different pattern packs that are available to make saddlebags. And in this series, we're going to make several styles, so we'll start with some from this pattern pack right here. This is what a typical pattern sheet looks like. All of the parts are drawn in heavy black ink, and they are the exact size and shape that they need to be. There are several ways you can use these. You can trace them onto tracing film or a tracing paper, or you can put them onto heavy paper or poster board. I have cut the pieces directly out of my pattern, and I will use this now to trace onto my leather to cut out my pieces. As you can see, I have placed my pattern onto the leather, and I have used several push pins to keep it in place now. Not to worry about making a mark on the leather, because I have used my push pins where there'll be a hole, like here and here there will be a hole. This being the back of the bag, it'll be covered by the pocket, so I was able to put several more push pins in there. So now I will carefully take my scratch awl and mark the outer perimeter of my pattern. This will be our cutting line. And after I have completed my scribing, I can now cut this piece out. I am cutting this from 8 to 9 ounce vegetable tan cowhide, an excellent way to cut the other parts is to take the first part you cut, since these are saddlebags and there'll be 2 bags, and just flip it over, and we can take our scratch awl and mark it, and then we will just cut out the other side. Now I would like to take a moment to review the parts we've cut here. This whole group here we've cut out of 8 to 9 ounce. We've got 2 fronts, 2 backs with the strap that goes over, 2 flaps, 1 connector, and 2 of the buckle straps. Now from 4 to 5 ounce vegetable tan, we have cut 2 gussets, both 3 inches wide by 31 inches long, according to the pattern, and 2 little buckle straps to hold the buckle. Before we can do our final assembly, there are a few chores we need to do. Number 1, we need to take the pattern for our billet straps, and with our awl we will mark holes for the buckle tongue to go through, and also one at the end. We'll do that to both straps, and we'll take the pattern for our buckle strap, and we'll do the same thing. We'll make a mark for the rivet holes, and we'll also punch a 3/4 inch slot with our oblong punch. And then we will take a 1/8 inch punch And we'll punch holes for the rivets. And we'll use the same size punch for the bucket hole, or for the buckle tongue holes in the strap. And we'll do that to the other straps as well. On the back side of these billet straps, I'll take my skiving knife and I will skive it down about half the thickness. We'll do this to both straps. For these straps, we will also use an edge beveler, and we will bevel the edges and we'll do it both the front and the back side. And we'll do this, of course, to both straps. And we will dampen and slick the straps. Now I will take the pattern for the bag flap and I'll register it, and with my awl now I will mark for a rivet hole and 2 marks for the slot. I will cut the slot with a 3/4 inch bag punch because that's the size of the strap we're going to use. And then I will punch a hole for the rivet. I will do this to both bag flaps. I will also use the edge beveler and bevel the sides and the front part of the flap. And we'll do this both front and back. It is not necessary to edge bevel the top part. For the bag fronts, we will also register our pattern and we'll mark it for a rivet hole and a slot. This will be for where our buckle tab will be positioned. It will also be 3/4 of an inch wide. So we will punch a 3/4 inch hole. And a hole for a rivet. For the fronts, we will edge bevel the top only. And we'll do this to both fronts. If you recall, when we used the push pin to hold our pattern in place, we made a mark with the push pin. Now that will also be where we will punch holes for some grommets. So we'll punch one right here and another one down here. Now we will edge bevel, bringing our pattern back in. We will edge bevel from the top here down to where the gusset will go, where this dotted line is on your pattern. So we will edge bevel this area. On both sides. And we'll do it front and back. There's also an area down here where the back will be outside of the gusset, so we will edge bevel around that area also, front and back. Now I have placed the connector strap here to show you which side would go over the sides. It'll be assembled like that, so we want to do the outsides, top and bottom, and we will slick those edges as well. Next we will do some skiving. Where the connector goes to the back, as you can see here, it will overlap about a 1/2 inch. So we need to do some skiving. We will take about a 1/2 inch off of the edges on both of these, so that when we overlap, we will have about the same thickness of leather as you started with. And we'll do this to the other back and the other side of this connector. For the front flap, we will also skive about 1/2 inch off of the straight edge where it will attach to the back. And of course, we'll do this to both flaps. Even though our gussets are made out of 4 to 5 ounce leather, it's a good idea to very carefully skive about 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch off the edge, as you see me doing here. Very careful so that you do not cut through. And we'll do this to both gussets, and we'll do both edges. Now that all of our parts are prepared, if you're going to do any tooling, now is the time to do it.